Hello, everyone. I am Amanda from the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery, and today I am going to be reading aloud the story of Chapter 2, which is in our Frosted Pumpkin Cross Stitch Club, the Toadstool Bed and Breakfast. And I am going to wait for a couple people to join in before I get started. It's just now noon here in California. I think we're going to give it another couple minutes. If you would like to follow along, this is pages, I believe, 3, 4, and 5 of the PDF. And the PDF was released this morning. So I think that's everything. I'll give it another minute or so. I hope everyone is having a very nice Friday. It's very, very sunny here in California. As you can tell, it's almost too sunny in my office, but it feels really, really nice after so many days of rain and fog. Very, very good. All right, let's see. I have enabled the chat. That all looks good. Yeah, I think that we're doing pretty good so far this morning. I printed out my copy. You're welcome to follow along in your PDF, or maybe you are cross-stitching today. But I think I'm going to get started if everyone is ready. This is going to be Chapter 2, Surprise Spring Soiree at the Toadstool. And I do want to say I received a couple questions on social media about if the story is written with AI, and I can assure you it is not. It is written by me, Amanda, and then Ashley designs the chart, and then Christine Belinda proof the chart. I am not a fan of AI at all. So any errors in the writing, we can't blame AI. We can just blame the Frosted Pumpkin. All right, let's get started. Finn spent the majority of his winter inside the Toadstool. Mapleville was blustery. Many days, the wind pushed the snow so high against the door that he had to step on his tippy toes just to peek outside. The mail was delivered on cross-country skis most mornings, and Finn quickly learned to place any online orders early because delays became the norm. Finn kept his paws busy working on projects. The Historical Society held a big indoor rummage sale. As he was browsing with Maxine the muskox, he found an old pedestal bird bath. It was nice, but a terrible orange color with dingy moss stains on it. He was sure he could do something with it, but just wasn't sure what. They continued to browse, Maxine getting some novels and Finn finding a much-loved quilt for the back of the couch. He thought guests would enjoy bringing it outside for picnics in the spring. While he was searching for new treasures, his mind kept thinking about that bird bath. As they went to pay, there was a big, loud crash. Everyone paused, shocked to see that a big box of handmade gray glazed mugs had fallen right off a shelf. As the animals gathered to clean it up, Maxine turned to Finn. Have you ever tried making a mosaic? I bet we have books at the library. You could redo that bird bath you have your eyes on, and then all of this won't go to waste. Someone sure worked hard hand throwing all those mugs. Finn ordered glue and grout from Spud Brothers hardware store downtown, laid down newspaper, and set up a mosaic station in the kitchen. Slowly but surely, he made the bird bath his own, and he couldn't wait to set it outside once the snow had melted. During the winter, his mom taught him how to crochet, and soon every room had a rag rug on the floors and a doily on each tabletop. One evening, he decided to make a flower garland, but wasn't sure where it could go. Like all crafty foxes, he just kept creating and thought a plan would come later on. Maybe many of you can relate to that as well. Just before bed one evening, a light bulb went off in his head. Aha! I can hang the garland on the rafters outside. The toadstool was becoming just as comforting inside as it was welcoming outside. One afternoon, when the snow was coming down and Finn felt like he hadn't seen the sun in ages, two exciting things happened. First, the mail arrived, and with it, a big seed catalog. Finn completely forgot that Marshmallow Marie Bunny had suggested signing up for it. He ripped it open, and it was like sunshine in paper form. The colors, the arrangements, the ideas. As he was flipping through the pages, waiting for his kettle to boil, he heard his favorite sound. Ping! An email announced a new reservation. Finn filled his mug, tucked the catalog under his arm, and grabbed his laptop. His new guests would be Roberta and Lily Kerplop, arriving in March. He closed his computer, settled back into the couch, and began to make lists. Two guests at once, so both guest rooms would need to be ready. But should he get the room set with heavy warm quilts and flannel sheets, or cotton quilts and soft sheets? Finn thought to himself about how mercurial the weather in March is, and he could feel himself becoming equally excited, but also a bit nervous, because what if it kept snowing? Or suddenly it was 70 degrees. He decided he could only do so much. After all, he could not change the weather. He spent quite a few evenings curled up on the couch under that new, well loved quilt, dreaming of gardening. Never mind that he had never planted so much as a daffodil before, he was going all in. Maxine, the ever supportive friend, came over one morning with a box of warm cinnamon buns from Cooper's Cafe and a huge tote filled with gardening books. Finn welcomed her in and was so enthralled by the spicy smell of cinnamon that he completely missed Maxine's book bag. Together, they pored over the books. Bradley Beaver showed up later that day with plans of his own. Page 2. Finn, Bradley said while nibbling on a cinnamon bun, what if we build some planter beds and freshen up the fence together? It wouldn't take too long, and we can use leftover odds and ends from the lumber yard. Finn's cheeks grew as red as his coat just thinking about how much he treasured his friends. Soon they determined the Toadstool's planting zone, picked plants that didn't seem too challenging to grow, and drew up plans for some garden boxes. Slowly but surely, the snow tapered off, the flakes turned into raindrops, and one morning Finn woke up. The snow had melted. He was absolutely overjoyed. It felt like the longest winter ever. That's the other thing I'm sure everyone here could probably relate to. But boy, was he surprised by how gray everything looked. He felt his little belly start to hurt. What if it was still gloomy by the time Roberta and Lily came to stay? While reading the paper, he saw that Spud Brothers had an upcoming sale on outdoor paint. Maybe he could freshen up the Toadstool's roof and window trims with a brighter red. Even if the winter weather took a turn for the worse, the Toadstool would still be fresh and welcoming. While he was ready to go to the hardware store, Bradley called and said that a customer had changed their mind about a nice brown stain they had custom ordered. Would he like it for a discount? Finn's spirits lifted. Maybe this would work out after all. While Finn was on the roof painting, Maxine was rehanging the front door she had painted a bright robin's egg blue, and Bradley was staining the fence boards. They all paused in their hard work, sweaty and curious, when they heard a moped coming up the road. It was a delivery from Cooper's Cafe, but they had all agreed that they hadn't ordered anything. Chloe Fox, you may know Chloe, Chloe Fox hopped off the moped, took off her helmet, and declared, I heard from the Spud brothers that you were painting today. I have the afternoon off. I brought some sandwiches and wanted to see if you needed an extra paw in the yard. It turned out that Chloe loved gardening and had grand visions of what the toadstool could look like with bursts of colorful flowers. Her goal was to set up a pollinator garden, urging Finn to move a big rock next to the bird bath. She even brought Finn his own new pair of blue gardening gloves. Finn's alarm went off bright and early the morning of Roberta and Lily's arrival. He cautiously pulled down his quilt. Imagine this. He cautiously pulled down his quilt and crossed his paws for beautiful weather, opened his eyes, and was greeted by the sun. He bounced out of bed, eager to start the day. First, He grabbed the ladder and hung the crocheted garland he made over the winter. When the frogs arrived, they hopped out of Bradley Beaver's truck and stood with their mouths open. Finn greeted them but had no response. Oh no, Finn thought, his stomach sinking. Then suddenly both frogs started talking at once. This is better than the photos. Look at all those flowers. How did you decide what to plant? We are right at home, aren't we, sister? It turned out that Roberta and Lily came to Mapleville as guests of the gardening club. They'd be giving a lecture on bee-friendly plants, followed by a book signing of their latest release, Sugar Cafe Menu: How to Attract Hummingbirds to Your Yard. It turned out, excuse me. Finn got his guests settled in and sheepishly told them that he had grown the lemon balm in their tea. They both agreed that it was delightful. Now, Finn, began Roberta, we both agreed that we have a small project in mind and we'd love your help. Lily nodded as Roberta continued, can we host a small mixer after the book signing here and teach the garden club how to make flower crowns? We know it's last minute, but the Toadstool would be just the perfect place for everyone to get together. Again, Finn felt his cheeks begin to blush. Yes, I'd be honored. The following day, Finn got up bright and early to brainstorm how he could make this event a success on such short notice. He began calling Maxine, who offered to call the Mapleville Quilt Guild. She explained that they had recently taken down an exhibit of quilts that were hung in the library. Next, he called Chloe at Cooper's Cafe. He explained the idea and asked if there was any chance she could help. He heard the phone rattle and crash. Chloe? Are you there? Next page. Finn! Why didn't you tell me earlier that you know Roberta and Lily Kerplop? Do you know who they are? The last part she shouted into the phone. Well, they're guests of the garden club, Finn replied, a bit confused. They are the best gardeners. Pause down. I've had their talks highlighted on my calendar, and I've been anxiously counting down, just waiting to hear them speak. And a chance to have them sign my bird book? A sigh came over the line. So, do you think you can help? Finn said, laughing. Before he knew it, quilters were dropping off quilts for the guests to sit on. Chloe had made a dozen trips over on her moped with treat after treat, and Maxine made her famous step salad. Finn set up the yard of the Toadstool B&B with the theme of Spring Garden Party and anxiously peered at the sky, hoping the blue skies would stay. Soon the guests started arriving, all chittering and chattering about how wonderful the talks and the book signings had been. Animals kept telling Finn how lovely his toadstool was and that they hoped he'd host events in the future. As they settled down onto the quilts in the soft grass, Roberta and Lily taught everyone how to make flower crowns step by step, so when their own gardens bloomed, they could have crowns for themselves. Finn, please join us at the table, Lily called over. Finn had been standing off to the side with Bradley, making sure that everyone was comfortable and had plenty of lemon balm tea. Finn approached the table, nervously smiling. We had the nicest time here in Mapleville, getting to know all the members of the gardening club, touring the historical society and the library. Today wouldn't have been possible without the generosity of Finn and his wonderful spirit. You'd never guess my sister and I came up with this idea at the last minute. The guests started all chattering excitedly. Finn blushed and said, I couldn't have done it without my friends Maxine, Bradley, and Chloe, and of course the help and support of the community. Chloe looked like she might faint when Roberta gave her a small wave. She's a true fangirl. Roberta and Lily then placed the finished flower crown on Finn's head. Everyone clapped and started milling around the yard, visiting with friends and drinking tea. The event was a success, and always Finn felt beyond happy. He had the best of friends. So that is chapter 2 of Finn's story. And you can tell from the chart all of the things that are mentioned in the story. You'll be stitching. So we have, of course, the garland that Finn crocheted with the help of his mom. He's wearing his beautiful flower crown. We have his guests, Roberta and Lily. And then over here we have the super cute pedestal mosaic themed bird bath that he made. We have his gifted gardening gloves from his friend Chloe. And if you compare it to the winter toadstool, you will see that the lid, I guess we can call it a lid, the lid did in fact get a new roof color. And of course, the fence is darker now. So as the season changes and we stitch summer and then fall, you'll see other changes within the stitching itself. Each toadstool has a different colored roof, different colored fence. We'll always share a story about the different visitors, and they coordinate all together, and it's super cute. It's been so much fun working on this project. I could not be happier. If you haven't had a chance to download the chart yet, make sure you hop on and get a chance to do that, because I think it's going to be really nice stitching for some very turbulent times that we're in right now, and hopefully it brings you some joy. um Hi Otter Disdain, the flower crown adorbs, love Roberta, thank you. Hi a menagerie of stitches, the new chart is adorable, thank you so much. Thank you both for coming, and thank you both for being part of our awesome stitching community. It definitely is a more quiet release today. I think that a lot of people are, at least people in New England, are gearing up for some more snow. And California, it's nice and sunny. So hopefully our West Coast friends are able to get maybe a walk in or something during their lunch breaks. And I know a lot of people are just feeling not great these days. So just know that, you're not alone, and hopefully stitching and a little story about a innkeeper fox can make you smile. I had sent out a newsletter earlier this week saying that we were going to be going back to New Jersey. That will be in April. I have a lot of posts planned for the month of March on our Patreon. Did not get as many chances to update Patreon as I wanted to in February. I had a minor medical procedure, and it just kind of took me a little bit longer than I hoped to get back on my feet. But I'm really looking forward to sharing with you behind the scenes as we get ready for New Jersey, because it's been a lot. The other thing that we are, of course, working on is the 2026 Stitch Along. I have been, I think, working with Ashley on Zoom basically from 7 o'clock in the morning until 5 to 7 o'clock in the evening, getting things all ready for that. And we cannot wait. The majority of the things have shipped. So we're doing things a little bit differently. I can't give away too much. I have been sworn to secrecy, but we're doing things a little bit differently. And the only thing we're waiting on right now is some of the thread. And unfortunately, it turned out that like one color has been completely back ordered since January. So poor Nicole can't even get started assembling the kits. She can't even make like a partial batch or anything. So that's kind of a bummer, but I think that she's really been enjoying getting the mail lately, because she's only seeing things in like tracking. So we'll send her an email, we share a Google sheet, and it's like, this will be arriving today. And so she's been opening the packages, and she very, very kindly texted a picture of one of the things. And I'm going to show you a tiny picture because I can do that, right? I'm allowed to do that. So I'm going to try to figure out a way to crop it so that way it's not too obvious what the theme will be. Let's see. I will show you this. So there you go. There's a tiny little thing, very, very tiny. The best and the worst part, I've told you this before, the best and the worst part about when thread is on back order is that it gives Ashley like a little bit more time to play around with the graphics, adding little odds and ends to the kits, adding odds and ends to the PDF. And this time, because we had a little bit of extra time, I asked for something personal, which is I wanted a magnetic bookmark. I don't know if you're familiar with like the bookmarks that They have magnets on both sides, so you can just attach them to your piece of paper or your book page, your journal, whatever. And so we found a manufacturer, and those have shipped. There's also a very special tiny little thing in there that I have been collecting these things for, oh gosh, maybe close to 10 years. And recently they have had like a trend where people are putting them on their LL Bean bags and so on and so forth. And so that has already shipped. And let me see, I might be able to share with you a tiny sneak peek of that too. I can already tell that Ashley hopefully is not watching this because she may murder me. But that's okay. We're allowed to share small things with our friends, right? When she sent me the first one through the manufacturer, I was like, "Oh my gosh, it's even cuter than I imagined." And it is. Let's see. All right, so it looks like unfortunately that picture didn't save, but I can show you one other thing, which is wait, can I show you that? I don't think I can show you that. Okay. Yeah, okay, I can show you this. So here are here is one thing of Jack. So we had all new stickers, of course, made for the club. And here is the proof that the printer gets before they send us the stickers. So here is Sugarloaf in his outfit for the club. Very quick, very quick. Okay, we're done. Now I'm officially cut off. If only I could find that other picture though. Man, that's a bummer. Ashley has designed an exclusive pattern for the show in New Jersey, and that will be available for our Patreon subscribers to purchase from our shop before we make it available on our website. The theme for March's Patreon pattern is Patchwork Animal. It's so cute. Ashley designed this one in January and I absolutely love it. We are actually in the process of hiring a additional sample stitcher, so that way that person is going to be working on all of the Patreon patterns while Rachel is stitching some bigger upcoming charts that we have coming out. So we're really busy behind the scenes and I'm very, very happy to be doing it. Ashley just finished up a really fun collaboration for a completely different genre of needle arts. They licensed some artwork from us for a couple products. Very, very excited for that. It's a hobby I have always wanted to try, so I'm hoping that I can somehow get my hands on the product myself. Let's see, what else can I tell you? Long story short, we're very, very busy, but very happy to be busy. It feels really good to be working a ton. Trying to think of what else I can share with you. And the needle minder is, of course, done for the club. We did just restock needle minders and keychains and a whole bunch of small odds and ends on our website. So if you've been looking for some, there's a handful on there. Whatever we don't end up selling between now and when we go to New Jersey will come with us to New Jersey. There is a off-camera big box of samples that I'm going to be finishing between now and when we leave. I will be sharing the process of that behind the scenes on our Patreon. Yeah, it's been very, very, very good. Things are awesome. It's also tax season for small businesses. So our bookkeeper finished up our books and then we had to go over them. And now they're at the accountant. And I feel like a sense of relief that they are done because, man, it's just not fun. But yeah, everything is really great here. We are quiet and keeping our heads down. And I think that what the young people on the internet say is like we're hydrated, we're drinking our drinks, and we're putting on our makeup, and we're staying in our own lane. I guess that's what Frosted Pumpkin is doing right now. We are a little bit sleep deprived, but really excited for the future, staying in our own lane. We have our noses down and we are working very hard. And it's what we love to do. It's what Ashley loves to do. She has, I swear, enough ideas for like 10 other clubs. And she's really trying to push herself to doing multiple clubs this year. I am saying yes, but of course, we're going to see how this one goes. Our goal is to release it before we leave on April 7th. Of course, that's gonna depend on if that back ordered thread comes in time. I really want it to go with us. Ashley has a very cute idea of how the sample will look at our table. So we're all just kind of crossing our fingers. But in the meantime, Ashley went very ham on this club. It's a theme that she has wanted to do for years. She finished the chart in 2024, but because we weren't able to release it, she then kind of tweaked it and then it got a whole overhaul, and it's been really fun watching her designs evolve. There's also a new frosted pumpkin chart out on the Black Needle Society's website. I don't think as far as I know, it's not a PDF, it's a printed pattern. It's very, very cute. The theme was Snow Day. It is a little rabbit, and the rabbit is cross stitching. It's I almost feel like, did we accidentally jinx everyone with this snow pattern? My dad and my uncle live in New England, and I swear every day it's like, we got more snow, and they're so unhappy about it. Whereas I'm like, I wish it would snow. It even snowed at my mom's house and Ashley's house in Northern California. Tragically, here we only got rain, but I love snow. So Ashley creating that design, it was so special, and it is snow day vibes, and it's so cute and so cozy. Um, yeah, I just that's pretty much it. That's what we're doing. Working hard and really, really enjoying where our work is taking us this year. Okay, I have a couple little comments. Chiara, you kill me. Now, when I'm about to watch Now You See Me, Now You Don't Tonight, LOL. You're moisturized. Yes, thank you. Thank you. Sorry, I don't know all of the the lingo. I'm not on the internet at all, and sometimes it shows. Thank you, one sassy spunky. I really appreciate that you are happy with the chart and enjoy stitching it. I think the main goal, as I mentioned before, the main goal with the Toadstool Bed and Breakfast is we wanted to do something just really cozy and sweet. Calico Critters, Animal Crossing. It goes in theme with our foxes, Chloe, Cooper, Clementine, Coulter. I'm really looking forward to having all of those charts on display in New Jersey, because they're a whole, I think we refer to it as like an omniverse or a multiverse. They're a whole collection, and now seeing them all in one spot is going to be very special. And one of my tasks in the next upcoming days is to cut mat board, and I'm going to turn these into some flat folds and then hopefully put them on some easels. A Daiso store recently opened up in Reading, so Ashley has been collecting, oh, I don't have any near me, has been collecting small easels in time for the show. And there's just something so sweet about a project just propped on an easel on a shelf. Like, I think it's very casual but very sweet. I give it 5 stars. I recently have started decorating a hutch in my kitchen, and it feels really like, I don't know, it feels really homey, really cozy. I think I might be in like a nesting phase of my life, which is kind of ironic because I was in my house for 8 weeks on bed rest. So how much more nesting can you get? But now that I'm able to travel around my house in other rooms, I want them to be very cozy. One thing I know I have to do is I have to turn a bunch of seasonal sayings into flat folds. So I will be working on that and sharing those on Patreon, along with I have to put backings on all of the animals that are in hoops. So those are the ones that say happy autumn, etc., etc. With There's a series of cats and a series of dogs. The series of dogs, I never put matching paper on the backs, so I'm going to put matching paper on the backs. I may film myself doing a couple of those and posting them to Patreon. One thing that has been really awesome about Patreon is that we are now earning enough income that it isn't quite so like stressful to constantly be churning out new charts for our website. So huge thank you to our Patreon subscribers. Like, that's amazing. And we're still able to keep it affordable at $5 a membership, which I mean, you get a pattern, and I was supposed to learn how to take down the previous patterns, but it turns out that I can't figure out how to do that without interrupting everyone's existing patterns. So, you didn't hear it from me, but if you sign up for Frosted Pumpkin Patreon, you actually get like 10 patterns or something ridiculous like that. Um, it's fine. It's fine. I mean, for the most part, everybody knows us, and my I feel like since day one, our only goal has just been to have fun, and of course, making a living is important, but it's been great being able to like share stuff on Patreon that maybe doesn't need to go to our whole newsletter list or whatever. So essentially in 2026, I may dial back the newsletters, but ramp up the Patreon because those people seem to really want to hear from us. So I'm really, really enjoying doing that. I was kind of annoyed that I didn't get to post as much in February. In very quick reading news, I have created, I mentioned in my last video that my goal was to read more nonfiction, 12 nonfiction books. I have now expanded on this goal. With the rise of AI in books, in crafts, in everything under the sun, I have decided that it's really challenging finding books in my favorite genres that are not AI. Like, it's a bummer when you go to read a romance novel and you realize it's AI, or a fantasy novel and it's AI. So I'm giving myself a couple different goals this year. I am going to continue my goal of reading 12 nonfiction books, which has been going great. I've already read a few. I also am going to read one book of poetry, one classic book, and I'm going to do, I think they call it 26 in 26, and it's a bingo for members of our local library. So I'm working on that, and it's fun. It's all kinds of great little themes. I think I've already accomplished six. I've crossed off six on my list. Um, and that has been, basically, I'm looking for ways to expand my reading. Without limiting myself and also not having to deal with doing a million hours of research to determine if a book is AI or not. And for the most part, it's pretty obvious, right? But I just don't want to deal with any of it, to be completely honest with you. And that's it, it is a bummer. But so if anyone is reading this or watching this after the fact, if you have any poetry or nonfiction or classic books you'd like to share, please tell me. I remember really enjoying Lucy Maud Montgomery when I was younger, so I may reread Rilla of Ingleside. I also know that there's a new Count of Monte Cristo out on PBS. I may watch that. Yeah, I'm just trying to find ways to expand the reading without limiting the reading. And it's always good to try new things, right? I think that's one thing that I always like to do is try new things. So I think, gosh, it's been a lot of talking for today. I hope that was a good catch up. I hope that you enjoyed the reading of Finn's chapter 2. I can assure you again, no AI was used. I think because I used, what is it called when we use multiple letters in a row? Alliteration. I think because I used alliteration with surprise spring soiree that people thought that I used AI for it. And I can assure you I did not. Um, yeah, things are going great. Really looking forward to releasing new charts. Really looking forward to working on Patreon. I have physical therapy later today, but my plan is tomorrow I have a post ready for Patreon. And again, our theme is going to be patchwork animals. Okay, so let's see. Um, Chiara, this dynamic with Toadstool Charts releases is fantastic. I hope you'll keep it in the future so we can build tiny woodland flatfolds throughout the seasons. So I'm into that. Yeah, I've told Ashley before that I really wanted to do this, but with holidays where maybe he can decorate his toadstool for Christmas and Halloween and Easter and stuff like that. I thought that'd be really, really cute. So I also like that idea. We just have to see what Ashley says. So far, she's on to pretty much everything. She has been on absolute fire lately. And somehow it's almost like taking a little bit of time off with a broken elbow. Her elbow was broken. Taking time off to just like exist last year, really, like, spurred her creativity because her designs have been absolutely, like, incredible, and one thing that's really interesting to me is, like, people will be, like, really hyped on older charts, and, you see we get a lot of requests like, "Oh, I bought Once Upon a Time in 2013. Can you resend me the link?" Or, "I just finished it. Here it is." And I almost wish that the newer charts would be as popular as the older charts because to me, the design is just so phenomenal. But I guess maybe I just need to give it another 10 years for those designs to marinate like the previous designs have marinated, and then they'll be popular. So, all right, I gotta set a timer for 10 years from now. But I really want people to love them as much as I do, and also as much as Ashley does. I do want to share one thing. So most of you know that Ashley is our designer and our overthinker here in the group. And I love this. Okay, so I had one person email me this morning and ask about it. And so that's why I'm like, all right, I'm going to talk about this. If you look closely, see how we have this separator here? This is the color palette of the of the club, and she always does this. Anything that is like a color or a theme or whatever, it carries through for everything throughout the entire club, and I am really looking forward to that for the 2026 stitch along because it's like it's like this theme just like burst from her. So there's so much for the theme, and I'm really looking forward to it. All right, let's see. Char says, and summertime with cactus. So summertime, unfortunately, does not have cactus. I went in a different direction. I wanted to do cactus, but then Ashley designed a surfboard for Finn. Now, we're not going to think too hard on the geography of where the toadstool is located. Does he live near an ocean? I'm not sure yet. I may need to do some creative writing. I have a little bit of time to work on that story, but, it's more, I would say, beachy themed. I heard a rumor that the Spud Brothers, hardware store was able to truck in some sand for the special guest. I have to get off the internet. I'm so bad at telling these things before they happen, but, it's worth it. It's so much fun. Okay, but seriously, thank you for hanging out with me. It was nice and quiet today. Really looking forward to hanging out on Patreon, and I will of course continue newsletter and Facebook and everything. It's so nice because Patreon right now is like I said, it's financially working wonderfully for us, so I can focus on it and really hang out with people. All right, that's everything. I hope everyone has a really great rest of their Friday. TGIF. If you get a chance, I hope you get to see some sunshine or some fresh air. Don't be on the internet too long. I hope you get to stitch and make sure you take care of yourselves. All right, I'll see everybody later. Thank you. Bye bye.